Yeah, time to check the record.
Peel the facade back, examine the ledger, dissect the systematic pressure for the people's pleasure. Every paper trail is a lesson that we're deciphering. Yeah, the accountability project, demanding truth and justice from the government subject. The accountability project, for transparency ain't no compromising the object. The accountability project.
Public statements tell one story, but the documents, the ones released by the Department of Justice, tell another. These emails are all part of the publicly released Epstein files, published by the United States Department of Justice. So the question isn't so much as what she said. The question is why she is covering up the truth that the record shows. Let's start with lie number 1.
I never been friends with Epstein. Donald and I were invited to the same parties as Epstein from time to time, since overlapping in social circles is common in New York City and Palm Beach. To be clear, I never had a relationship with Epstein or his accomplice, Maxwell. My email reply to Maxwell cannot be categorized as anything more than casual correspondence. My polite reply to her email doesn't amount to anything more than a trivial note.
This is the email that Melania says was just a trivial response to a message from Maxwell. It doesn't sound that way to me, but I'll let you decide. To me, it sounds like two friends trying to find time to catch up with each other. I definitely think these two were much more than just casual acquaintances seen at parties every now and then.
I am not Epstein's victim. Epstein did not introduce me to Donald Trump. I met my husband by chance at a New York City party in 1998. This initial encounter with my husband is documented in detail in my book, Melania. The first time I crossed paths with Epstein was in the year 2000 at an event Donald and I attended together. At the time, I had never met Epstein and had no knowledge of his criminal undertakings. Numerous fake images and statements about Epstein and me have been circulating on social media for years now. Be cautious about what you believe. These images and stories are completely false.
This email was sent to Jeffrey Epstein around the time Trump first became president. Unfortunately, whomever the sender was has been redacted by the Department of Justice, but clearly it is saying that Trump met Melania at Epstein's possibly or somewhere in Florida, but doesn't seem to be at a party in New York, if this email is credible at least. There's also a few other emails that mention Trump being scared of the Melania story coming out. Not sure what that would be, but it could be referring to this one.
I'm not a witness or a named witness in connection with any of Epstein's crimes. My name has never appeared in court documents, depositions, victim statements, or FBI interviews surrounding the Epstein matter. I have never had any knowledge of Epstein abuse of his victims. I was never involved in any capacity. I was not a participant, was never on Epstein's plane, and never visited his private island.
No, I don't have documented proof that Melania was aware of Epstein's illegal activities, but what I can prove is that the president did, or at least this victim of Epstein swore in a court of law that Donald Trump had knowledge of Epstein's finances and his sexual desires for minors, and he did nothing. He told no one. I find it hard to believe that Melania didn't know anything about Epstein's disgusting proclivities. But I'll let you decide. All I can do is show the evidence that Melania may have been telling us just a few half-truths. And that makes me wonder, what else are they covering up? We know we are missing over 3 million documents from the Epstein files, and I'm sure that's because we wouldn't like what we found, and people would be forced to take accountability. So they cover it up. But for how long will that cover hold? But I wanted to end with a message to those people out there who think covering the truth is going to help. There's a quote from an anonymous person that says, "The truth always comes out in the end, no matter how hard anyone tries to hide it. Lies are just a temporary delay to the inevitable." Thank you, and thanks for watching.
Yeah, time to check the record.
Peel the facade back, examine the ledger, dissect the systematic pressure for the people's pleasure. Every paper trail is a lesson that would decipher.